Okay, so thank you everybody, and thank you for bearing with us. We were having some technical difficulties, but thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Lisa Partida with Home in LA, and tonight we have Isabel Duran with Operation Hope, and tonight's topic is going to be how to avoid scams, especially right now. Since the whole situation with the wildfires, I think this was going to be pretty informative for those out there who might be, looking for assistance or things like that. So this is probably going to be very informative for you all. So I'll go ahead and pass it along to Isabel.
Thank you very much. I find this topic very, very important. Um, we have so many people who are going towards the bad way of making money, and a lot of them are wanting to get a hold of your money by talking to you, making you feel comfortable with them, and all of a sudden they tell you some things that you could do, and all you have to do is just give them some money and they will help you. And I just want to say, don't do that. uh, if you don't know this person and they talk to you that they can help you, I would run away as fast as I can. Or another way, you can say, can I see your license? If you're selling something, you should have some kind of license. And if they start talking to you badly because you caught them, just walk away, or just stay away from people that think that you can give them money. So we're going to talk about different tricks that they use to convince you to get your money for them. So AARP is an organization that really works to get benefits and information, and especially for older folks. But they have some really good information. You can go to the website, they'll give you a lot of information also. One of them is fraud, and it impacts older adults. Unfortunately, that's because adults, after I would say 70 years, they start forgetting items. Uh, they start uh, thinking that this is that, and it's not that, it's this. Sometimes they mix people up. Sometimes people look alike, and they just don't know who is who. And then they're the ones that are easy to fool into believing any kind of story. So top scams. Well, a lot of them is that I see a lot is on my phone. I get a lot of robocalls. In the beginning, when I was getting these robocalls, I would actually answer. I didn't know who was calling me. And it would be companies saying that they can help me with my insurance. They can help me fix my house for free. They can sell me a new car at less price. And I would ask for a phone number. I would ask for their office. I would ask for their name, and they would hang up on me. Can you believe that? So I figured, oh dear, these are robocalls. And then sometimes when they call, I I answer, and I hear a little beep, beep, and I know that's a robocall. So I hang up. I go to my phone and I click on that button that says you can, remove it from your phone and just erase it. I always do that. So be careful with people that call you and want to sell you things. Just really be careful, find out the real truth, ask them questions. Many times they won't answer questions when I ask, what is it that you're selling? What is your name? They hang up. So it's just a scam. Another scam too is they'll call you and they say that they are with the Department of Water and Power, and they just want to make sure everything's okay. Can you give them your uh, number of your house? Can you give them you know, any kind of information from, from your license number to another number that belongs to you, because that's what how they get into your information. And then sometimes they can get into your telephone system and get more information. And then all of a sudden you see, some charges that you didn't make. So you just have to be careful with phone calls. Accept calls from your relatives, accept calls from your people, your friends that you know by, the sound of the voice, the phone number, and constant calls wanting to sell you all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I get like 2 or 3 calls a week from people who want to buy my house and I don't want to sell. Why don't you want to sell? Because so I say crazy stories, but as soon as I ask them questions like, well, who are you and are you licensed real estate? And they hang up. So the other thing they do to trick you is they'll call you and ask you how you're doing, and you think it's a friend, and you start talking about things in common, and then they start asking, do you have relatives living with you? Do you have children living with you? They want to find out if you're alone. So be careful, okay? Be careful who you talk to. Again, ask their names and say, oh, wait a minute. You could tell them, I have something on the stove. What's your phone number so I can call you back? They won't give you a real phone number, okay? So that way you can hang up. Narrative change for social change and discussion. So a lot of things are going on to trick you out of your money. Just want to give you some ideas that what you can do to protect yourself is just remember where your money is. Hide your money if it's in your house. I always have, some kind of change in my house in case I need to get something real fast. Remember where, what bank you go to. And let's see, what other things do you have? A car, you have phones, you have TV, you have relatives nearby. Just remember all those things. But one thing you want to do is do not share that personal information. You don't want them to call your relatives to call you. So those are some of the things that I see and I hear. On Sundays when I go to church, I see a lot of older people, and I'm really glad to see that they have relatives walking with them so they can, take care of them. Because you just never know. There's people on the street that are just kind of looking at you and see if you're a good subject to ask for money. And sometimes at the parking lot of the church, we see, sometimes people that look alone, they look homeless. They're looking at your house. They're looking to see if your doors are open. You didn't lock it. So that's another thing you want to do. If you're still driving a car, be careful, lock it, and make sure nobody can take anything in from it. So I'll go for another slide. Okay. AARP again is an organization that helps the older folks. And they have several departments, and they help a lot with employment, home ownership. Here at the home of AARP Fraud Watch Network, they really look at that and see what's going on with all the fraud works that are happening. Okay, next slide. Fraud Watch, what we help you do. So stay informed. When you go to the website and you open AARP, they give you a lot of information there for many different kind of subjects. One of them will be the Fraud Watch. And a lot of times they hear about new kinds of frauds, be careful. And, it's short little stories you can read and just be careful with what happens. Find support if you have any problems with that, and have a voice. If someone has tried to fraud you or scam you, you should share that with your friends and relatives so they can avoid it too. And you can also make a complaint, not a complaint, but you can also call AARP and tell them this is what happened. Maybe they can give you some advice to report them or to stay away from them. And maybe they can give you some good ideas for the future. Okay, next slide. Fraud Watch Helpline. Free to everyone, report a scam. So AARP has a watch helpline. So if you believe that you got taken, they scammed you or they fraud you, you can report the scam. There's a phone number there, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you just got to call a little earlier and tell them what's going on. And if it says here, ask if something is legitimate, get help with fraud experience. So they give you some ideas. They'll tell you if it's legitimate or not, which is really good. If you have someone saying that they can fix your house for free, just say, just a minute, let me talk to my insurance person. And you can call them and ask them, so-and-so called me. This is the phone number. Are they real? Are they legitimate? Okay, so again, think of yourself first. Okay, next slide. Online victim support program. 1 hour free virtual sessions, empowering and supportive to anyone of any age, lower stress, safe space to talk. Victim support program. So AARP has different slides, and they also have workshops. So when you go to the website, you may see workshops, what days they're going to have and what's going to happen or how you can join them. But the virtual sessions, you can do it online and it's free. And they give you a lot of good information. They always want to give information. Information is power, and it's good for you to understand what's going out there. I'm seeing a lot of change in the streets. I don't see as many homeless as I used to, but I sure see a lot of people walking and kind of looking like they're looking for something. And when I put the trash cans outside my house, I see people like looking in trash cans. I walk out and I say, "Hey, can I help you?" "Oh no, we're just trying to recycle plastics," which is okay with me. But I just have to ask them what they're doing because it just doesn't seem correct. Um, and if you see that, just make sure your doors are locked, and if you feel uncomfortable, call the police. Okay, that you feel like there's a couple of people out there that you don't trust. They're just hanging out there looking inside the cars to see which cars have their doors open so they can go in and steal the car or steal the products, whatever they have. So yeah, just always get some more information, and then you'll know what to do. Next slide. Wow, fraud versus elder financial exploitation. Embezzlement, falsifying records, coerced property transfers, denial of access to assets. Wow. If you have items that are of value, you know, if you have a house or you rent, you have a car, you have paperwork towards that. Okay, so you know that if you have a car and you're paying the car, you know how much, you know who you're paying to and where you pay. And if people come and say, well, you know what, we believe that this is not your car. Okay, so again, ask them for their name, their license number, and then call your insurance company and tell them, is, you know, you talk to someone, is this someone that is real? Property transfers. This is where I just want to cry for people. Sometimes people don't keep their titles paperwork from their home. See, there's the title, there's the insurance of your home. There's a couple of other documents you get when you get a home. You need to take care of them. Don't share it with anyone, you know, unless it's your lender, you know, or your insurance company. And then if someone comes in and says, no, well, you're not the owner of the house, this is it, I would call the police because it's denial of access. Property transfers, you know, how can they transfer properties if you have the paperwork and that you've never done anything? So that's something we have to really take care of. There's a lot of people that just make paperwork to look like your paperwork, and they come in and they say that this is your house or their house. So be careful, okay? Imposter scams, romance scams. Oh, I hear that. Lottery scams. I don't pay a penny to lotteries. It just doesn't work for me. And identity fraud. So that's where you have to be careful too. You know, you're always carry your picture ID, your if you have a license, and make sure no one takes it. You know, take care of your purse. And then when I do the credit workshop, I tell people, you know, when you start using your credit card, and let's say you go to a store like Target, okay, and I notice there's always a line at Target. Of course, everybody wants to buy something. But what I notice is that, you know, there's a line, and a lot of people, you know, take their credit card off their purse and they have it here, and then they start talking, and then they stop, and they just hold the card because they're talking. You know, someone nearby or someone on the other line can get a monoculars and they can start looking at the number of your credit card. Okay, please don't do that. Make, you know, don't take out your card until, you know, the cashier counts all your items and they say, okay, you need to pay $20. Then you can give them a card. Make sure you look around, make sure they're not looking around, because, you know, there's all kinds of tricks to get your number and use your credit card. So be careful with your credit cards. Keep them in your pocket, and be careful of what people say. Keep asking questions. I don't understand you. What are you saying? What do you want? Turns them off. Okay, next slide. Question here. That's so it's to make it more effective. Okay, scope of fraud. Oh my God, isn't it sad? 9 billion scopes of fraud. BI, 10.3 billion. Javelin, you know, it's really sad. There's a lot of crime, a lot of theft through fraud. And it's just the trick that they have. So again, be careful. Next slide. Fraud and older loans. So it's reporting that younger people lose money to fraud more often than older people. And that's because the younger people haven't been out in the street or haven't been out in the world. And they believe what they hear, and all of a sudden they lose money. So if you have young children, give them a little lesson. Tell them, please don't talk to strangers. And but when people age 70 and had a loss, a medium loss was much higher. So unfortunately, older folks have more money than younger folks, and so when they lose it, they lose a lot of money. So we need to really protect them also, as well as young children. So be careful. Okay, next slide. Imposters. Oh gosh, it is scary. The imposters. Social Security Administration. Um, this is what you really have to be careful with. If you have a Social Security and you went to a Social Security office to get your Social Security card and information, uh, try not to carry your Social Security card with you unless you're going someplace where you need to show it. Probably when you're buying something or when you want to apply for something. I know when you go to the bank and get a credit card, they do want to see your Social Security and your identification, and then you just wrap it up in a little purse and just put it inside your clothing so nobody can take it. And then a lot of people get what do you call it, frauded, because someone calls from, they say, I'm from Social, hi, I'm Isabel from Social Security, and I just wanted to go over some of your information. Can you give me your Social Security number? Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Again, ask the name, ask security, ask their license. They don't call you to ask your Social Security number. They send you information about your Social Security. Usually they send you information once a year about how much money you have in Social Security or how much you can get. But they don't give you any kind of other information. They don't give you any issues. So be careful when someone says, they're from Social Security. They usually don't call people. They send emails, they send texts, they send letters asking, call us. We need to talk to you. That's when I'm scared. So I call. Actually, I go through the website and I go through all that stuff. And then I get information by mail, and it's okay. IRS, that's the tax returns. Again, be careful who calls you. Ask their name, their license number. They have to have a license. And, if you don't feel comfortable, why would they call you? So usually they send you mails if you're behind on your tax returns or you make a mistake on your tax returns, or they want proof that you have this kind of information. Usually it's with letters. They usually don't call, so be careful. Medicare is something that's really precious for ourselves. This is how we can get health insurance. And again, ask a lot of questions because they can sell you something and then it's not real. FTC, I forget what FTC stands for. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of FTC. But the U.S. Postal Service does not call you. They deliver mail, and so they will deliver mail if they need to talk to you or tell you there was a mistake. but they don't call. Really, they don't. There's
FTC
Amazon.
is, oh,
I'm sorry.
FTC, just so everybody knows, FTC is the Federal Trade Commission.
Oh, Federal Trade Commission. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then there's Amazon. Oh, please, please do not sign up for Amazon. You don't need that stuff. Okay. Federal Express, UPS. I've received boxes from Federal Express and UPS of items I've ordered, or Operation Hope sends me a computer when I complain that the computer they gave me before didn't work. Then they send a new computer through Federal Express, and then I have to send the old one back to Federal Express. But they don't call you. They don't, you know. I haven't seen an imposter that says they're with Federal X, but be careful. You know, that could be a trick. That could be a big trick. Microsoft is again a computer system, and you have to be careful what information you put in. You want to be really careful. And utilities. Um, I haven't had any utility call me. When I'm late with my payments, I get a nice little letter saying, "You're late. We need you to pay your bills." Oh my God, I forgot. So again, these people don't call. If they do call, they're trying to sell you something. Just say no. You don't need all kinds of stuff. Okay. So government businesses don't contact you out of the blue about a problem. Concern, contact the entity at a trusted phone number. Make no payments, share no sensitive information. Okay? So be careful out there. Next slide, if we have one. Fast growing bank impersonators. Oh, I know. Don't you hate that? Wells Fargo Bank fraud alert. Did you attempt to make a purchase at Walmart for $1,263.89? Reply yes or no. Do not reply. Hang up. Okay? Don't even give them a second. Next slide. Banks don't call you. Okay. Identity theft and identity fraud. The theft identity has been compromised. Fraud identity has been compromised. So if you feel for some reason you find out that your identity has been compromised, that's because somebody somehow or another got your name, got your social security number, got your credit card number, and they start using it. And what you can do is call the credit department, or the creditor, like the ones that create the credit reports, like Experian and TransUnion and Equifax. Call them and just say you believe you've been fraud by identity, and ask them if they can freeze your credit. And you use a unique password to get back into your credit account, and you set up an online account access, keeps accounts updated. Okay, so the bank can help you, or the credit company like Experience or TransUnion, they can help you with that, because I'm sure they come across that a lot. Identity theft mitigation. The best thing to do is to freeze your credit account for a while, and then you can go to the police station and ask for a identity theft report. They will fill out your name, address, and you can show them your credit report and tell them, this is how I feel, this is why I feel I've been frauded. And then that way we can write to the credit bureaus, we can write to the credit companies and ask them to close it, or freeze it, because you believe someone has your information. And it's all done free. Next slide.
Oh, that's it. That's the last slide.
Okay, great. Did I scare you now?
No, just be
Yeah,
cautious,
it's
Just be
yeah,
cautious.
just gotta take care of yourself a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And our friend Arlen. How are you, Arlen?
Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y ustedes?
Bien, gracias.
Aquí,
Yeah,
mira,
listo. Está bien.
extrañándolas, ¿eh?
Sí. All right. Okay.
Gracias.
Entonces aquí terminamos. We're finished for tonight. I'll catch you next time, Isabel.
When
Next,
do you have a
next week, Thursday. I'm sorry, the 20th. And that's gonna be the credit and money management.
20th of February,
Yes, at 6.
6 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I'll catch you next time. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.